What is up, y'all? It is your host, Rennie, and you're listening to another episode of the Call Me Crazy podcast.
That's
switch it up.
So cool. I really, really like that.
Yeah.
Like, I really, really like that. That's that's like really, really different.
Really
like,
different.
Really, really different. That's very cool. I love that.
Okay, so I'll allude to it in the end.
Yeah, allude to it in the end.
I always say, like, if you're coming to my vendor event and you're asking me what other vendors are going to be there, reevaluate your company.
Oh my God. 100%.
Because why do you care if another skincare brand is there?
See, that's...
Why do you care if another jeweler is there? Why do you care if another apparel is there? Are you not so confident in you and your brand and your message and your intention that you think someone's gonna steal someone else away? My customers, my viewers, the people who are supposed to wear Give Yourself Grace either have gotten it or are going to get it. I'm not scared that we haven't pushed it enough. We need more people to see it. No, the people who are gonna see it and are gonna need to see it and wear it are gonna get it.
Yep. Point blank. That's enough said. Like, you know,
because that's just what it is. Mm-hmm. Like, and that's why, like, you know, I gravitated towards you because your brand message strong, your voice strong, like everything is like you have something to be very confident about, for sure.
Right back at you,
for sure.
Honestly, and you like I just said, I would not. It's actually something that you started saying to me, and now I think about it all the time. You remember a very select amount of people. Like, not remember, like, I'm gonna try to say this. I'm gonna try to say this, like, properly. You're gonna, like, fucking die when I say this, but, like, okay, so, for example, there's tons of people that we've met. There's tons of people that we will meet. And that's great. I love meeting new people. I love doing things with people. Great. But there are very few people that, and I don't know if this is going to sound bad, but it's honestly just true. There are very few people that, like, stand out to me. Yeah. In, like, personal life, professional life. Yeah. Both lives. And I didn't really realize that until you started talking about that. And it doesn't even mean that, like, for example, like, people, like, I love acquaintances. Right. Like, you know, when you go out, you see people, great, hey, how are you doing? Yeah. But there are very few people that I look down on my phone and I'm like, wow, I hope they send me a text. Yeah. Or I can't wait to respond to her later. Mm-hmm. Can't, you know, there's very, very, very few people. And you have been one of them since the very beginning.
I don't know why I'm gonna cry. I'm on my period.
No, but like, no, and that is like a really like, I guess, a sweet thing for me to say. But like, I genuinely mean that, and I think that it's very, very, very hard to come by.
Oh my God, I say it all the time. I mean, like, to mesh with me professionally and in a friendship, the double entendre, it doesn't happen a whole bunch. I'm gonna tell you this right now. It doesn't. Yeah. And I'm gonna say this, and I don't want to sound cocky. I don't want to sound rude. So if it comes off that way, that was not my intent. If you feel that way, you're more than welcome to feel that way. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of people, I think, who consider me their friend because I'm a very friendly person. Right, right. But to say I'm your friend means that we have rapport outside of business. Yep. And there's a lot of people I have fun doing business with,
Absolutely.
But that does not mean we're friends. Mm-hmm. And you are someone who I find a friend in. Devin is someone who I've found a friend in, and you're both my clients. Mm-hmm. And it's really so crazy, and it's such a... Oh, I mean, Amira, she's another one of my clients who I literally see myself in all of your lives for the rest of the time. Do I see you be my client for the rest of the time? No. Do I see you in my life for the rest of the time? Yeah, I don't blink an eye at that fact.
Don't blink an eye.
And that's hard to come by. That's really hard to come by. And it's a special thing because guess what? You know, I think when people are like, don't mix family and business, don't mix friends and business, I don't think that's necessarily true. I think that's a blanket statement, and I think that's really overgeneralizing the population.
I could not agree more with that.
Because if you have an open and honest friendship with someone, and then there's love inside that, it can only make a business boom.
Unstoppable.
Boom. Because guess what? I have someone supporting me and behind me that's not just here for a paycheck. They get a paycheck, but they are also my friend. They also have my best interests at heart always.
They're thinking about me always.
They're thinking about me. They're not trying. I don't know. I feel like if Emma wanted to break away, she would talk to you first. If she instead of like scheming on the side, and not scheming, because I would do this, right? When I was employed, I would be like, and I tell this to everyone still to this day, before you quit, find yourself a job.
Oh my God.
So
that's what I did.
What if Emma was someone else and she gave you less than 2 weeks and she ran off and you were shit out of luck.
Shit out of luck.
But Emma wouldn't do that because she loves you.
Exactly.
So I feel like when people say that, it makes sense because I see where things could get iffy.
Very interesting point. And
But it's totally all has to do with the people.
Just like everything.
Just like everything.
Just like everything. Exactly. It's like there's some people, I don't know why this reminded me of this, what you just said. It's like people, people can't change, people can change. What is that statement? Literally, what is that statement? Like, I can change because I change. Like, it's the people. It's the people. It's not the statement. Yeah. It's the people. Yeah. Like, 100%. And that's such a good point, is saying, like, I'm just using Emma as an example. If Emma wanted to part ways, she found a better opportunity, I would say, go for it. If you are happy, go live your dream. And she would sit me down and she would say, I am leaving you for this better opportunity. Can I stay for another month and help you close out things? Can I help you
interview?
Can I help you interview? She would go above and beyond. And that is a different type. Would I be upset? Would I be sad? 100%. Because I love her. Yeah. And I want her to work for me.
And it's like so fucking easy for you guys. I mean, it's effortless. It's unspoken.
It's unspoken. However, would I respect her any less? Would I love her any less? Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. It's just like any part of a friendship. If something's bothering you, you say it. In a good friendship, you are open and honest about anything.
I think my favorite thing that we say to each other, and I've been saying this before I met you, but you say it often and I say it often too, and it's I'm just talking out loud here. I'm just shooing the shit. I'm just gonna say it so it's out of my brain. I'm gonna dump it right here. Like I'm just tell me if I'm sounding crazy. Like we always say that because it's like we have these ideas and it's crazy.
Yep.
I started Give Yourself Grace proposing it to you with that same thing. I was like, I know we met like yesterday, but
I know we met literally yesterday. However, abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah, because like, why as humans do we hold back? It's obviously starts and ends with ego, but it's like life gets so much easier. I mean, like we wouldn't have gotten ourselves to this project unless I'm gonna move this, but unless
we jumped crazy.
We jumped crazy, and I said that. If I was like, oh my God, she's gonna think I'm number one weird. She's gonna think so these are all the thoughts in my head, right? I said she's gonna think I'm number one weird because hello, we just met. Number two, she's gonna be like, oh my God, this girl's already trying to work, get something from me, use my resources. I did not want it to seem that way, but I was like, you know what? this whole year is just about shooting shots, I'm gonna shoot my fucking shot. And the worst she can say is no. That's what I always used to tell my friends when they were like, ask your mom to sleep over. The worst they could say is no. Like, they're not gonna punch you in the face.
Ask your mom to sleep over.
Of course not. Like, no, they're not. I mean, I don't know your mom, but like, I'd hope not, Like,
exactly.
So why are we afraid? Why are we so afraid?
I love that. Worst they can say is no. Even with, I have always had an issue with rejection. Like, literally, like, rejection is the scariest thing for me in any way. Like, if a boy ever rejected me,
I was just gonna say that
I wouldn't be able to move. Like, you know what I mean? And like growing up, I was like, oh my God. Or if a boy ever said something bad about me, like that was like a rejection. Like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not skinny enough. Whatever, all these things. And I've always feared rejection. To this day, I fear rejection. Yeah. And I would always, when I was trying to get over whatever, I'm literally thinking about boys right now, but what is the worst he's going to say? No? He doesn't want to hook up with me?
Honestly, boys are kind of mean. I'm not going to lie. He could be like, shut up, you stupid bitch.
I get the sit down like I'm better than you.
I don't want to lie to anyone who's watching.
That's actually the very true. That's
because like high school boys
are nasty.
Scary. Frat boys, scarier.
Terrifying. But I don't know why like boys just like jumped into my head. But do you know what I'm saying?
No, that's
it's like
so
rejection.
True. I quite honestly like spent a whole subway ride with a cop like lurking. Like literally he was so hot.
Lurking.
Came down the stairs, followed me, went on the same train. Like his partner's like, where are we going? And he just like we get off the train. Like meanwhile, I'm on fucking Instagram taking polls. Should I shoot my shot? Should I shoot my shot? Should I shoot my shot? Like, bitch, everyone's saying yes. And I didn't. He followed me all the way to the bubble tea place and I went like, and I couldn't. I don't know why. I'm such a bad, like, I get so scared. And everyone's like, Rennie, you must have guys throwing themselves at you. I don't. And I also don't know how to flirt. So, like, I actually am the Sahara Desert. This is another this is a story for another day. I don't know how we got on.
Something that I think is really real, too, about us is you can't make this shit up. We have conversations like this every day.
No, every day.
Every day.
Every single day. At least once a day, we have a little vent sesh.
We really do. And
it's like a debrief. It's not us being like, oh, this is so shitty, or it just like, we're talking, and then it just gets into this, and like, we'll go on for like 20, 30 minutes.
We absolutely will. And it's about different things all the time.
All the time, but it's so crazy because I told this to Ellie too, is like, she is such a hard worker and I admire that so much about her, but also growing up in Fairfield County, I had a lot of friends who have your life and I never resonated with them as much as I do you. So I think it's so unique that like we come from very, very, very different backgrounds, but have quite identical morals. So like from, And I think that just goes to show like environment plays a really big role, but when you're born, you have your predisposed personality already. So truly another thing that, I was just reading this and I was gonna call you Handsy, like, excuse me, hello. Ellie has a name.
Handsy. Honestly, call me Handsy.
Call me Handsy. Honestly thought that was your last name for the longest.
Oh, everybody does. Somebody said that to me yesterday.
So where'd you come you come up with Handsy from Haney?
So it was my cousin, actually. For
really?
full-blown honesty, it was my cousin. She's actually not even she's not technically my cousin.
I thought you were going to say she's not my cousin anymore. And I was like...
She actually isn't my cousin anymore. She's my cousin's wife, but she's like she's like my sibling. You know, she's just so close to me, so I call her my cousin. And I was talking to her about, I was like, I want a name that's tied to myself, but not like Haney clothing. You know? And I didn't, and at first when I was starting out with tie-dye, I was wondering, I was considering, should I do to die for or something like.
Yeah, very pinhole.
Yes.
Pigeonhole.
Because at the time I was like, oh my God, I was obsessed with all these colors. I was obsessed with tie-dye. But in the back of my mind, I always knew that it was going to be something bigger than that. So that's why I never think that I never
to die for.
I mean, sick name.
That's a sick, honestly, collection name too. I mean, if we bring back tie-dye, that's
no, but actually though, like, they're not really. But that it's exactly so. She was like, "Oh my goodness, Handsy, that's so cute, such a cute little play on the last name." And I was like, done. Oh, it reads perfectly. Yeah. It's me. It's gonna be tied, to me forever.
Were you scared about Hanes?
Yeah, I am still scared about Hanes. My mom always said, when you've made it big when Hanes starts suing you.
Yeah.
I'm like, true.
Not even suing you. I mean, just in reference to remembering the name.
Yes, definitely.
Did you think about it then, or do you think about it more now?
Both.
Yeah.
Honestly.
God bless those cute little grandparents that thought we were wearing Hanes the other day at the beach.
At the photo shoot, they're like, Hanes clothes. Yeah, no. No, I definitely.
A bunch of letters on that one. I don't know if you can see your.
Literally, like, oh my God, but. Yeah, I definitely am worried about that, and I have been worried about it. So both. But at the end of the day, I'm like,
you are who you are.
If I am who I am.
Yeah.
If I have to change something, then I change something. But right now, we're riding with it.
Rocking it.
Rocking and rolling.
Love it. So to give some context, as you've already been talking with us for 30 minutes now, you have no idea why we're here, who we are, or why we're doing this. Like, come on, why we're here, who we are, why we're doing this. That was why twice. But this is kicking off the new series, and I want to do a little anecdote for just to preface this, because quite honestly, you can't make this shit up.
I can't wait to hear what you're about to say.
I know. I drove. Okay, so basically, I drove to a town 50 minutes away from my town. Sat down with my friend Adrian, who's a photographer. As you know, the previous series was the Funk of Photography. Was gonna record the last episode of that series, and I did. I fully did. It was like probably 2 hours of recording. Love that. So we leave, we go home, obviously 50 minutes ride back home, get home, take the dogs out. Cool. Dogs have gone out. Aww. We go down to a town 15 to 20 minutes away, record another podcast. That was about an hour and a half. Drive back home. It's now like 11:30, and this is after a day of full meetings. So like it's full meetings, and then it starts my extracurriculars, which is the podcast.
So after a pretty solid day.
Exactly. So cool. Go to bed, feeling grateful, feeling good. Wake up, I'm like doing a million things as per usual, and I'm downloading all my photos from the photo shoots yesterday, meetings, photo shoots, all that. So I download 400 photos. And my brain is wired so mechanically at this point that if you're a photographer, you know what this means, and if you don't, I'll tell you, I formatted my card immediately after. And for those of you who don't know, formatting your card means wiping every single thing possible. So I formatted 2 podcast episodes, and I was just like, listen, we're starting the mental health podcast series early, so I don't lose my mind, because I quite honestly wanted, I don't know if you could say stuff like this on air, but I wanted to unalive myself, is what they say on TikTok.
Unalive myself. Yeah.
Unalive myself. I was quite ready. I was right there with it, and it was.
I'm like
crazy.
Breathing heavy after hearing that. I mean, you already told me.
I was sweating. I was red.
That's pretty bad.
Black girl red. Yeah. I was steaming. It was inferno inside of me, all right? And I had to cool her down.
Steaming.
I had to cool her down. I haven't talked about mental health in years.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy because when I met you, I was in this time of my life where I was breaking free from shackles that stopped me from talking about my mental health.
Yep.
And it was something I did on my channel so often. It's something that people like came to my channel for. I
listen to. Yep.
I would be crying on film mid panic attack post it.
Yep.
Was I go for my mental health? I don't know. But I was like, you know what? We're going to let go of those 2 podcasts. Those 2 podcasts weren't supposed to air. Whatever. We have let go of them. Woo-saw.
Yep.
And there's no one else I'd rather open up this series with than the mental health queen herself, Comfort Clothing and Comfort... What is your tagline?
Providing comfort physically and mentally. And honestly, I think you made that up. Or Bayton. That was literally not me. So I actually cannot take credit for that.
That was
Shout out to Bayton for that one.
But I was there. So I probably brought the good juju.
Yeah, she definitely brought the
Sprinkled
good juju. 100%. And Emma too.
Yes.
But I mean, I can't tell you how honored I am, seriously. And it's really, I'm incredibly honored to be here, and I'm incredibly honored that you had me as a first big episode for this new series. And it really, it means a lot to me. It really does. And now I'm reflecting, it's just so special that we have this relationship after not even knowing each other for... Oh my God,
can we look at the calendar? Because...
Please pull it up. Wait, hold on. I feel like it was... I want to guess.
February.
Oh, I want to guess.
Oh, shoot. Sorry. Fucking A! But holy shit, I would have... the actual echoes. Thank God Jake isn't home. He would be unaliving himself right now.
He'd say sayonara.
Sayonara.
Wait, was it February?
I was going to guess that it's been like 6 months.
Yep.
But February...
Was it February?
It was like mid to late February.
It's late February. Yeah, it was.
That was like so recently.
Wow.
That was so like that. I think it was this was the event like this week.
Was the 24th?
Or maybe
it was
the
like the 24th or something.
Something.
No way.
Yeah, dude. We've only had 3 full months together.
See, that even just like shows more about how special this is. That's nuts.
Because it feels like a fucking lifetime. I'm gonna tell you, girly.
It really does. Wow. And then we met very shortly after. We met up, just the 2 of us, very shortly after that event.
Yes.
Yeah, that was. We probably met a week after or something.
Yeah, we exchanged numbers. I texted you that night.
Yep.
You texted me the next day. We set up for the next week. And then after that,
the magic
I don't even know. Was the next thing the Bayton shoe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So our
beginning
friend,
of March.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So our friend Bayton, if you ever need a studio in Bridgeport, he's at the Bridgeport Innovation Center, and he has a studio. So we used that for our first shoot together. Bayton was on film.
He's unbelievable.
I was on photo. Emma was on making sure shit goes right.
Yeah.
As she is always.
Yep. She really is. Incredible people. Can't speak enough highly enough of either of them, honestly.
So that was early March. I can't believe that, because when I talk about our relationship, I always think about this long drawn out thing where I'm like,
so do I.
I'm like, yeah, it happened so organically. We met at this event, then we just started working together, and then we started on this collaboration collection, and then throughout the whole collaboration collection, we were working together, and then she asked me to be her client. I say the story as if it's been so long.
3 years.
Yeah, like this is a
thank
organic
God that you say that,
development.
because
I always say that. I'm like, it was so organic. Nothing was rushed. I always say that nothing was rushed, because it doesn't feel that way.
It doesn't at all, and it never has.
Never has.
It never has.
Yeah, I didn't poach Ellie as a client. Like, we fully worked together.
Never once.
Worked together, and throughout that, like, how could we not at this point?
It was just the most, use the word organic, and there's nothing better than it. It was just the most organic friendship and relationship ever.
Yeah.
Quite honestly. And there was never a moment where I was like, okay, like, I am whatever. Like, I was like, oh my goodness. Like, there was never a moment. I knew I was going to be a client of yours the entire time. There was never a moment I didn't. However, you never, ever, ever put any pressure ever on me. And I think that, or deadlines or anything. And I think that's one of the reasons why I knew we were going to work so well together, was because you wanted to know me before you took me on as a client.
Yeah.
And you wanted to make me feel comfortable. And even if I did not become a client of yours, you would have still been my friend.
Yeah.
So just reflecting on it is really like, it really is a special thing.
No, truly. And I think everything happens at the right time, when it's supposed to happen. Like, that's why I never force things. I'm like,
never.
When she needs me, she's going to need me, and hopefully I have the time for it. And I did. And it's amazing. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better pairing, because, I don't take clients I don't believe in, because my work will show that. Now, whether the public will be able to see, maybe, probably not, but I would be able to feel it, and at this point in what I'm doing, for a long time, I worked for and worked with, my clients were people that I liked, but I couldn't be completely myself around. So it was like, compared to being someone's employee, I was feeling less anxiety, but there was still a level of anxiety. And when I go to meet you, when I go to meet Amira, when I go to meet Devin, when I go to Designs by Lee, like, I don't feel that way. And, like, to dumb it down to the simplest form, there are preconceived notions that everyone has about cannabis. I can walk into a space with you or any of the other clients that I named and not feel like you guys think that I'm not doing my job as well because I'm quote unquote high. Because for me, my high is the same level in SSRI that works maybe for Billy Bob Joe next door would do, right? So I smoke my first joint at 6 a.m. so I can get into a headspace to talk to people without anxiety. So it's not like I'm drinking fucking wine at 6 a.m. It's very, very different. But people don't get that.
No, listen, if you did, I'd say.
Right.
I mean,
hey.
Listen.
Whatever works for you.
But sorry, keep going.
But yeah, it's just like, for the simplest form, that, and just a sense of like, I go to work every single day without anxiety. You make that possible, and everyone else on the list that I just named make that possible. The people who hire me for freelance photography gigs, you make that possible. The people who buy Give Yourself Grace, they make it possible.
Make that possible.
So it's just, it's an incredible feeling. It's, I mean, I can't be any more grateful. I mean, just to be sitting with you in your space, and just feeling so comfortable in your home, having a space that we love to work in. And,
shout out to my family.
Shout out to the Haney clan.
Special people.
And honestly, like, you have a level of support that, I mean, honestly, most people in this area do. But you guys are such hard workers. It's like, I've never seen a group of a family unit that loves what they do and do it so often.
It's thank you for saying that.
No, you all do.
Yeah. That's where I get it.
Yeah.
I always tell my parents this, they're going to be like, shut up. But if I'm half the people that they are, That's
honestly. Shout out to Raj and Kim.
Shout out to Raj and Kim and Jake.
And Jake, man.
If I'm half, literally, honestly, if I am half the people that they are, that
We're
is,
good to go.
I am
A-okay.
thriving. So, soaring. And it's just, I mean, it is just forever grateful for them. And just my growing up, I was a demon. So I don't know how I'm still allowed to live in this house, honestly. But all jokes aside, it is just an even more of a safe space, blessed feeling that I actually feel on a daily basis because I've experienced the complete opposite of feeling like I don't belong here, feeling like, you know, all these things. And feeling like I have a really tough relationship with my family, experiencing all the stuff. So now having a really just solid and just unspeakable relationship with my family and this house, and it's just, it feels that much
more special.
I don't know if that made sense, but
it did to me.
Yeah, okay,
it
good.
did to me.
Hopefully it made sense. But it's just the feelings are really real.
Yeah.
Especially recently, myself.
And I think going back to what we were talking about earlier in the day, too, about ages and being more sympathetic to younger ages and understanding that people go through things, I think, like, it gets easier to accept when we realize our age. And it's like, these are the primitive years where we are actually making the mistakes that craft our morals. Okay, I made that mistake, so I'll never do that again. I hit that bump in the road, so I'll probably go this route next time. Or whatever it is for you, it starts to mold through experiences. If you were using cheating as an example, if you have only had the same boyfriend in high school for 4 years and the same people went to your school for all 4 years, and then you go to college and you meet so many new people, right? In the 4 years, you could have been the most loyal girlfriend in the world. Why? Because everything stayed the same. Your options stayed the same. How many times you guys saw each other in a day stayed the same. Your distance between each other's houses stayed the same. Like everything. Your circle, your friends, everything stayed the same. So it was easy to be loyal in that scenario. Now you have a whole new world of experiences. It's a whole new game. Now you have drugs. Now you have, not that people don't have that in high school, but it's like a different. It opens it up even more. It opens it up even more, and you get this feeling of, oh my God, it's not just, you know, Billy Bob Joe. It's a whole school of, what's like the going, like, average student body in a college? It differs, but like I went to like 20,000. 20,000. Yeah. Crazy. That's crazy. From a high school, like a senior grade being like a 2,000. Yeah. Like or whole high school is 2,000. 2,000, 3,000. Yeah. That happens out here. It's nothing. It's nothing. So for those people and for those ages, I give leniency because guess what? You wouldn't have known if you didn't go to college, or you wouldn't have known, like, there's only so much experience you can get when you're in school for 8 hours, 9 hours a day. So, and it's like you almost don't know. I don't know if this is gonna sound right, but you almost don't know right and wrong. You almost don't figure it out because guess what? Our parents tell us, whoever our mentors tell us, our older sisters and brothers, they try to tell us, but tell me if I'm wrong. Until we go through that, it's like, oh fuck, mom said this. It is exactly right. Dad said this. Oh, I knew that. You took the words out of my mouth, and it's exactly, and it's one of those things. It's like your friend who has a really bad drinking problem. Whatever, she can't see it until she's out. It's so crazy, you know? But you can't. And then there's people in my life who are in that stage, and I'm like, I'll be here when you're out.
Yeah.
And they don't get what I mean by that. And
Yeah.
I'm like, it's fine, but remember I said this.
Remember I said this. It's like, and they're like, what the fuck is this girl saying? Like, you know,
it's fine that you don't feel it now. You're not supposed to feel it now, but remember that I said this, and remember that I said when you're finally serious about your own life, I'll be here. And that's all I can do, right? You can bring a horse to water, but if it doesn't go down to drink, it doesn't matter if it's dehydrated. If it doesn't want to drink, it's not gonna. We can bring the horse to the water, but we're gonna start pushing a horse's head into the water so it drinks? At this point, we're giving a face wash. No water's being drank.
Literally not. No.
Okay.
The acceptance definition.
Yeah, let's see. What is
okay, so the definition of acceptance: the action of consenting to receive or undertake something offered.
Oh.
Wait, hold on. Is that like right? Or this is the other one.
Verb.
Oh, yeah. The action or process of being received as adequate or suitable, typically to be admitted into a group.
Interesting.
What is it? The fact of being accepted. Approval, acceptance of responsibility. Fully acknowledging the facts of a situation and not fixating on how it shouldn't be that way. Boom.
I love that. Yeah.
I'm going to screenshot that.
Yeah. That's good.
Fully acknowledging the facts of a situation, not fixating on why it shouldn't be that way. Mm-hmm. Why?
Acceptance.
Yeah.
So how do we full circle that? So fully accepting the facts of who old Ellie was, but not being fixated on the fact that you can't change it, you can't go back, you can't do anything about it. Accept her.
That's what it is.
And leave her be. Leave her where she's at. Leave her in Delaware.
Leave her in freaking Newark, Delaware.
Who cares? But accept her. Look at all the facts. And accept her. Maybe that's you actually personally going through your camera roll and being like, this is what I can delete, this is what I want to keep.
Yeah.
You know, this was her.
This is her.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really like that. And not fixating on why wasn't I like this? Yeah. Why was I like this? Why did I hurt this person?
Here sooner? Why? No. There's no use. Why are we fixated? Because it's not helping Ellie now. What's going to help Ellie now is just accepting.
Accepting. And I wouldn't be here without, like you said, I wouldn't be here without her.
You wouldn't. Simple as that.
Simple as that.
So are you comfortable with sharing your personal experience with mental health? And if you have a diagnosis, sharing your diagnosis?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So... actually, it's so funny that I want to talk to you about this after, too. I was going to do a post tonight about my story. I don't know why I just said that. It's so weird. But, I feel like it's so, I'm you know me, I don't like the whole, oh, my God. I think it's amazing when people share their stories, but it's I don't like the word share your story. So share your story. What's your no? It's not even it's my life. It's my life. Yeah. It's not a story.
Yeah, story feels illegitimate.
It feels illegitimate, right?
Yeah, it's or just make up a story.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a fable.
A fable, literally. I don't know why I just said that out loud.
But cities.
That's literally what I feel. And share my story. It's my fucking life.
It's my life. It's my truth. I'm gonna share. You're gonna share your truth.
I'm gonna share my
truth. Page.
And that is what I'm not gonna say. This is my story. And again, I'm not bashing people for saying that. I'm just saying for me personally, it sounds illegitimate, just like you said.
Oh my God, I almost want to look up the definition of a
story.
Wait,
what can you do right now? That just spewed out of my mouth without even me thinking. But do you actually know what I'm saying? Do you agree with what I'm saying right now?
Always. When people would be like, when people would be like, your side of the story. No, motherfucker, this is the truth. This is what happened.
The story is a fable. The fable.
The tale.
I'm sorry, there's no tale.
It is what it is. This is what it is.
Right?
Okay. Oh my God. Oh wait. Okay. So, okay. As a noun, it's an account of imaginary or real people and events told for entertainment. So we're starting off with the word imaginary. We're ending with entertainment, which all sounds so bogus when I'm talking about my mental health. Talking about my life. Okay, second, which is the verb, I believe. An account of past events in someone's life or in the evolution of something. The story of modern farming. Oh no, that's a different way of using the word.
Okay, well that's like sounds better, but like
yeah, that's the quote, the story of modern farming. So like that's a title to an article. That's a title to a magazine. You know, that's,
right.
That's an account of past events in someone's life or an evolution of something. That makes sense. But that first, as a noun, an account of imaginary or real people and events told for entertainment. Yeah, so when I hear the real people part, it reminds me about when I'm telling a story and I'm really amping people up and I'm giving them the context, I'm laying it down, and maybe I'm exaggerating.
Maybe I'm imagining or exaggerating. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Okay, I'm so glad that we went through this because it just doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right with me. It's my truth. It's not a fable.
No, it's not some story to give you some entertainment. This is real life shit. So if you want some help, if you want some insight, if you want some relatability, this is not entertainment.
It's not entertainment.
This is my life. Sorry.
Literally, yes. Yeah. Exactly. So I was going to share that on my page tonight, and it's going to go against the feed. I was going to post I literally haven't said this to anybody yet. But why not on air? Why not on air? But you know this. I started taking meds and stuff, and I wanted to share that because I feel like I feel like I'm at a point in my existence right now that is worth sharing, and it feels right to share. And I feel like my purpose is to share. Yeah. So I'm gonna post something tonight and I'm gonna run it by you before I post. Yeah. But anyways, anywho. So, but no, I absolutely am comfortable sharing my personal experiences and my diagnosis. I haven't always been like this, but I definitely am now. I don't know how deep you want me to go into it, and I know it's like kind of timed, but when did maybe ask me. Yeah.
When did you get a diagnosis? What age?
So actually, it's kind of interesting. My diagnosis or whatever, I got a diagnosis when I was a freshman in college. When I started going to therapy for the first time, I actually was diagnosed. I'm still with the same therapist that I have that I had at the beginning. She's, unbelievable. Top tier. And I had. She actually diagnosed me with a panic disorder the first time that we met.
Intake,
yes. That I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder and a panic disorder. However, I had a panic disorder for and again, I really could be. Probably isn't 1,000% accurate. But I would say I probably was diagnosed with a panic disorder, and I don't even know if I can undiagnose myself with something. Right. But long story short, I retook. I was like, what is this fuzzy thing? Oh my God. I was reevaluated after 2 years, 3 years, and I did not diagnose with a panic disorder anymore. So I don't think I would consider myself having like a panic disorder anymore. It's kind of weird, but I don't think that I have that anymore. However, recently I was diagnosed with OCD tendencies. So not obsessive compulsive disorder, but
I have that too, the tendencies.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting.
You see in my closet. Oh my! Like since I was a little girl, color coding.
Wait, no way.
Swear to God, doing my own laundry because my mom does laundry too slow. I want to fold it. I want to put it away.
Like every single thing.
Yeah.
See, that is so. My OCD tendencies do not result in a organizational sense, but that is really interesting.
Which is also another context that we put onto another word is organized, super clean, neat freak, because over compulsive disorder is what it sounds like. It's doing something too much on a compulsive level. You can't help it. You got to do it. So what did that look like for you?
Absolutely. And that is something that is so interesting to me because Okay, so pretty much long story short, I'm not going to get into this because I honestly haven't told, I think I've told 2 people this. I've told my therapist and I just told Andrew and Emma about this. My parents kind of know, but I'm not going to like go into details with this because I honest to God just don't feel comfortable talking about it yet. It's like the one thing I just don't really feel comfortable talking about. But my OCD, pretty much I've had these images in my mind that are like really like scary images. I'm not gonna like go into what they are. It doesn't upset me talking about it. It's just like honestly like I'm just like I'm not comfortable like saying exactly. However, I've had these images in my mind since like my first memory of being a child. It's so I've had these like really like dark images in my brain for as long as I can remember.
And is this like flashing while you're awake, when you close your eyes, like?
All.
Okay.
So it's very, very strange.
No rhyme or reason.
No rhyme or reason for what it seems like. They can be dormant. They were dormant for years. But like most of I never really experienced them like bothering. They've always been there, kind of, but not bothering me.
Right.
Very, very strange and very hard to explain. But they've been dormant, they've been not dormant, blah, 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 and whatever. Very confusing, very strange. But pretty much they started presenting themselves like a lot in college, like the end of college. And I think they are, I think when I have high anxiety, they come out more. I don't know if you feel the same way about like your tendencies. So pretty much like my obsessive compulsive is the images in my mind that I cannot stop thinking about them. Yeah. And they do not go away is what it seems like.
It's almost like a little escape.
Yes, yes. Yeah. And I like become upset, like I'm like, oh my goodness, like they won't go away. Very, very strange. But anyways, that's what, and it's overbearing. It's like really, it's very strange. And it feels like it's, I can't label them sometimes, and I don't know how to process them. And they make me like physically uncomfortable too, because I feel like I'm like in danger sometimes. So that's like a huge part of what's been going on with me recently. And I actually was I literally just was recommended this by my therapist last week, EMDR. It's, do you know what that is?
Yeah, I think Jess is doing it.
Yes, she is.
I was just going to say, yeah, you should connect with Jess.
She told me about it. She actually, it is so weird how things happen, but I talked to her about it like a month ago. And I was like, oh, wow, that sounds like really, really interesting. And then my therapist just recommended it to me.
Crazy.
Weird. So it's EMDR. It's eye movement.
Something receptor?
Something receptor. I don't really know. But anyways, it's this practice. I don't know much about it. I have to research it. But it's this practice that's like a 4 to 6 week long session, depending on how you react to it. And it pretty much is like it really helps with trauma, and it really helps with trauma. And I think it's a form of like helping PTSD. I don't really know. But my therapist, honestly, I would be lying if I said I knew what I haven't researched it enough, but my therapist told me to research it, and she thinks that it might help put some of these traumatic images to rest. So just interesting, but that's, I'm learning about that. I'm attempting to learn about that. And I also do have, like I said before, generalized anxiety disorder. So,
you know what, that, like, as you were talking, I was thinking to myself, and I was like, everything when it comes down to body's reactions, they're always kind of like fight or flight. So for me, when I was growing up with my mental health, issues, diagnosis, whatever you want to call it, every time things got really bad in my household, my apartment, whatever it was at the time, I would hurt myself. And that was to bring attention to something that hurt worse than what was going on around me. So I think that has the same parallel to you, where it's like in the heightened parts of your life where you're feeling peaks amount of stress, these pictures and images come to scare you more than what you're currently going through. That's just my perception of it.
Absolutely.
To take your mind off and to be like, there's shit to be scared about.
It's fight or flight.
Yeah.
It's fight or flight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing that, too, about your own personal struggles. And I think that fight or flight is something that I feel like happens a lot in my body and, like, my experiences. And it's tough because I feel like my brain is out to get me at times.
Yeah.
And I have to laugh about it sometimes, but I really feel that way. I feel like my brain wants to freak me out. And it wants me to go to the darkest depths of the freaking ocean. You know, like it's digging down and freaking me out. And I've learned through therapy and years of years of therapy and years of being experiencing anxiety is my brain is trying to protect me.
It's
fight or flight.
It's shielding you. It feels crazy, but in all reality, it is shielding
me.
We can clip this too. But do you have any genetic predisposition to mental health problems?
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
My dad's brother had a I think he was manic depressive, which is like they call bipolar now, I think.
Yeah.
And he actually committed suicide. So thank you. I never met him.
Okay.
So I always tell my doctors and stuff about him because he had a mental health illness.
His direct bloodline.
In his direct bloodline, and but nobody else that I really know of. And it's not something that I'm ashamed to say at all about my uncle. I wish that I got to meet him. Like everything I hear about him is like he's like the funniest, most, of course, like
because the most depressed people are the funniest, guilty,
and same. Like I think I'm funny.
Yeah.
But like no,
we're really
funny.
We're really funny. We're really depressed. I'm just kidding.
But like you have to laugh about it sometimes. But so that is that's I don't know if that's bloodline, but it's obviously like I experienced something very, very different than manic depression.
Right.
However, it's still mental illness. Yeah. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I think about my dad's brother a lot. In a way, in like strange ways that I miss him without even knowing him.
Because I was wondering if you ever had a presence in your life that made you feel like what you were going through was semi-normal, or was everyone quote unquote normal around you? Like that was my purpose of that question. So I get what you mean, but when you say like you wish you had met him, like
totally. And to answer that question, then we can go on to the next one too, or whatever you want. But looking back on my life, there were I had no idea I was experiencing anxiety, but from when my first memories, I'm not even just saying this, my first memories, and I have a really, really bad memory, but my first memories, there's anxiety in the picture. And I didn't know it was anxiety. So I thought I was normal. Again, not that I'm like abnormal, I am very abnormal. I'm very abnormal. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like I'm like, oh my God, something was always been so wrong with me. I don't think there's anything wrong with me. I don't think there's anything wrong with people. There's nothing wrong with people with mental illness, but it is my first memories exist with anxiety.
Yeah. It's crazy because mine do too.
Really?
And I was talking to my mom about this last night. And I was like, do you remember like me as a kid? Like, were there any red flags that I was going to be batshit
You were talking
crazy?
about this last night? That's crazy. That's crazy.
And she was like,
crazy.
no. And I was like, really? Like, even when I was, like, growing up, like, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, like, there was no signs. And she was like, I don't remember. All I remember is 15 and 16 was the worst time of my life. Me as a 15 and 16-year-old.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I could have sworn, like, I have a memory of looking at other kids' temper tantrums and being like, whoa, I do way crazier shit than that. Like, at age 6, I ripped off my closet door off the hinges.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even know how I was that strong at 6.
Wow.
You know, just like screaming, hitting my head, ripping my hair out until my scalp was bleeding. Yeah, just like very different from what I saw at my friends' houses when they're kicking, crying, screaming, like kicking their parents. Like, you know what I mean? Not themselves. So I have a very vivid memory of there being quote unquote red flags to what the future was going to hold. But it's interesting that my mom, who was my parent, didn't see it as such. So I think that's kind of like a testament to the fact when we think like everyone's watching or everyone thinks we're crazy or we must sound so stupid or just like the things that we think people are paying attention to, like
we're our worst critic.
They might not be, you know?
It's a really interesting point.
And even so, like my mom said, like I wasn't a great me back then. So I'm sorry if I didn't notice. So everyone's got their something. You know?
It's not so crazy that you were talking about that last night.
Last night. And the EMDR, like you can't
make it up. You can't. There's no coincidences.
There's no coincidences. I don't believe in that.
There's no coincidences.
I don't believe in that.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
When you said, I don't cry that much, that hit me because that was always me. I was always, and see, it's so awesome, the podcast, because when I talk to Ellie and I hear these, like, even though we have these conversations so often, stuff is coming out that never would have. Epiphanies are happening that never would have if we didn't take the time to sit down and do a podcast. You know, like, obviously we have these conversations all the time, but like there's certain things that are coming up for me. I'm just like, click, click, click. I mean, just us looking up the definitions. Click, click, click. Full circle moments. Click, click, click. It's just like, so when you said, like,
absolutely,
I don't cry that often, another click happened. And I was like, oh my God, that used to be me my whole life. Like, I didn't cry. Like, I had to watch the saddest movie for me to cry. Like, my mom watches a wedding that's happening in a movie, she cries.
Oh, so is my dad.
Very different people. We're very different. Like, you actually have to stab me in the heart or stab someone I love in the heart. Like, it's very hard for me to cry or get emotional. And then I thought to myself, you said it, and I was like, that's so me. And I was going to say, same. But then I was like, you know, the mind works in like milliseconds. So all in this time, as Ellie talking, I'm like, oh, that's me. Oh, no, that's not really me anymore.
It's not me anymore.
The past year of my life, I can confidently say I've cried more than my whole lifetime.
I mean, I think you're just gonna think I'm making this up, but I'm same. I'm not even joking. Jake can attest to this too. My whole family can.
Yeah, it's like
my whole lifetime.
Okay. Also, this is the first time this year that I've ever. I think there was one time in my lifetime before this that I happy cried.
Yep.
And
one time
before this.
Okay.
And I've happy cried like 5 times this year.
Wow.
At the very least. I
don't think I've ever happy cried, honestly. Is that bad?
No, it's not bad. I mean,
what does that mean that you've happy cried? Like, what is that like?
Okay. So like, for example, the other day, Jess and I were on FaceTime. She was driving back from therapy, and she was telling me it was the day of launch for Give Yourself Grace. And she's starting the EMDR, and she's, you know, I don't want to share too much about Jess's personal, so I'm just gonna say something connected with her in therapy, and she heard Give Yourself Grace.
Shut up. I'm gonna freak out.
She broke down. So she called me immediately after therapy.
She's on her way home. You know, she got a long drive home. And by the end of the conversation, Jess and I are crying and telling each other how much we love each other. And just like, I love you so much. I love you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. I met this girl this time last year. So I haven't known her for that long of time.
Wow.
And so that was a happy cry moment. That was like, wow. Like I don't ever profess my love so hard that I'm especially to a friend, that I'm to tears.
Wow.
To tears. And she was like, I can't wait to order. Like, obviously I was going to order, but like, now I just like can't wait to order. Like, you can't make this shit up.
You really can't. I mean, I'm at a loss for words, honestly.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's so crazy. And that's what does anyone hate the word full circle by now? Because I do. To go full circle and to say, like, whoever needs this collection is gonna get it. We don't have to push it crazy. Like, that's legitimate.
Full circle.
That's full circle.
Times, I mean,
1,000 million.
1,000
quadruple.
million.
Wow.
I mean, it's like I feel like I'm very, very recently. I feel like I've never felt more gratitude. Ever. I don't think I've ever felt the way I have never felt the way I've felt right now.
Yeah. Like, same. And it sounds so stupid, but I had to
it doesn't sound stupid at all.
Life taken away from me in order to appreciate it. And now I wake up every day like I used to literally laugh at people who are like, every day is a gift. Like, bitch, what?
Oh, I say that every day.
I say that every day. I'm the person I used to hate. Like,
yep.
Like, shut up with all your motivational quotes. No, but they all stick now.
They all stick now, and we literally make them. I text you and say, "Oh, can you make me a positive quote?" You know,
like why do they hit so hard now?
They do though.
They do. You're only annoyed at them when they don't hit. When your life is miserable. We've been there, and we were square. Horrible. Like, honestly.
Yeah. I've never been grateful for. There's been splurbs of gratefulness throughout my life, but I've never felt like every day for like as long as I can remember has been, and there's been easier days, but has been a struggle for me with mental stuff, and to finally see a little light and giving myself grace in my journey, accepting myself and not fighting all the time, and just letting myself be and letting the light in, learning to let the light in, learning to let the good in, learning to love myself presently. A lot is recently a lot. I've been feeling like these things a lot. And I feel like a different person.
Yeah. Truly.
Yeah.
Truly.
It's really crazy.
And that's the thing is, like, when people are like, oh, you've changed or da-da-da. I'm supposed to change. I hope to change, and I hope to continue evolving, because what is life if we're stagnant?
I really like that. Oh, you changed so much. You're so different. You don't do that anymore. You don't
hang out with us anymore.
Yeah.
You don't go to the movies. You don't go to the concerts. You don't. I don't know, no one says this to me, but I'm just saying. What are these statements? I gotta just disclaim this first of all.
Disclaiming that actually nobody hits me up and asks me to go to the carnival. Like, that was just fully made up.
Oh, wait. We gotta do
If you're gonna ask me to go to the carnival, I am there in 5 seconds.
I was in Danbury and I passed by one and I was like,
God.
duh.
Wait.
Duh, dummies.
Why don't we're doing that? No. We are doing that.
Like, maybe we should go to the Big E. When does that happen?
Oh my God. I was just talking to somebody about that.
I've never been, but I heard all about it.
Oh my God. When the hell? I think it's in the fall. Is it? No. Or is it in July?
Or is it
I don't know, but we're going.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out.
We're going. That would be
But for
unreal.
summer, I want to find like a bigger, like not a St. Leo's parish, you know, like that's in Stanford, very small. Like, you know, high school kids go there. Don't want that. Want it a little bit on a bigger scale. If we wait, we can wait until the Big E, obviously, if it's a fall thing, but I think we'll have fall stuff. But I'm saying if that's a fall thing, we should definitely hit up a carnival in the summer.
Oh my God, not even a doubt.
Yeah.
Not even a doubt.
I can't believe I've never used that as a photo, like
That
as a
would
location.
be that would be really, really cool.
Ferris wheel?
Oh, bye. Toodaloo.
At
Toodaloo.
the top where there's
No.
just sky behind?
No. That would be, oh my God, we should do like a really, that I can see a lot of things going into that.
Oh, yeah, baby.
I also was going to say something before and I forgot now and I'm like pissed off. You know when like I'm like, oh, I had a good thought. God damn it.
I started talking about carnival.
No, I love it. What the hell was I going to say? But, damn it.
Does it help for me to like jog your memory or be silent?
Yeah.
Oh, jog it? I wish I could walk with it. Because what were we talking about before? Oh, damn, that pot. No, I actually had a horrible memory as a child. Like, would be watching something, get to commercial, and be like, is it Hannah Montana or That's So Raven that I've been watching for 3 hours? Because I can't remember.
Wait, that's actually me too. I have a terrible memory. Also, I don't know if this is similar for you, but with anxiety and like traumatic moments in your life, I really don't remember a big part of my like freshman, sophomore year of college because it was really, really traumatic for me. Like mentally, like really bad for me. And I don't remember a lot of the days.
Yeah.
Does that happen to you? Like
100%.
like you like almost like not like blackout, but like borderline like
No, blackout.
Blackout, yeah.
My phone hit capacity for photos, videos, just storage in general back in December, and I was really scared to tackle those photos. Just by going to his face as a person in my photo album.
I know what you're saying. Yep.
There's 500 photos, and that's just recognized.
I was gonna say I know what you're saying. The recognized photos.
Probably 500 more, right? So I was like, what do I do with them? Like, how should I go about deleting the?
Do I have somebody do it?
Yeah, right. What do
whatever,
I do?
Yeah.
And throughout the process, and it's been a couple months, I still, am like maxed out, assed out. But going through notes of mine, going through photos and videos of, Ellie, this man could have gotten away with murder. I literally blocked so much out. I blocked so much out.
Wow.
I have videos of me that I don't even remember taking, and I'm so glad I took them because I didn't start recording until I was ready to leave. I didn't start putting on the camera until I was ready to leave. And that's the stuff that I remember. I can't even remember the stuff that happened before. Like, I know this happened. Like, I know this happened because I have a scar from it.
Right.
So I have to think about it. Okay, he ran his head into our TV, took the TV that my grandfather mounted for us off of the wall, pushed me into the glass as he's choking me. And that's how that happened, right? So I remember, but I'm like, how many times did that happen and I didn't get a scar? And I don't remember.
Right.
Because there were so many times that I had bruises. There were so many, and then, those heal up.
Wow.
So blackouts.
And that's scary. That's scary. Mm-hmm. That's scary. Mm-hmm. To think about. It's really scary.
Thinking about the word blackout, I'm thinking about it. And I'm thinking about a time where he pushed me down in front of my mom and spit on my face repeatedly. Crazy. Like, I wouldn't even have remembered that. I was just like, blackout. And then that memory.
That memory came.
It's insane. I think that's also what EMDR, like, it's the bringing to the surface because it's so far back in your mind, but it's affecting you. It's back here, but it's affecting you. And I think it's pulling it to the forefront, accepting it, and then releasing. I don't know, but from what Jess has told me about it so far and what I've listened to and taken in myself, I think that's like kind of what it is. It's like bringing those black parts to the light because they're clearly affecting you in these little microaggressions throughout the day that you can't put your finger on.
Right. And it brings that to the surface so it can be like blown up.
Exactly. So I'm really excited for you.
Wow. Me too. I'm really excited too. I really want to research it and like learn more about it because I feel like if I really believe in it before I go,
you'll make your mind and heart open
to it,
and then you'll get better results.
You know, that's 100%. Exactly what I. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
You're not nervous, but the unknowing is kind of like I don't know what to expect. Yeah, you should definitely read up on it, and then you'll feel confident going in, and then like
I think so too.
Call Jess too, and like have an actual conversation where you just talk about EMDR.
I'm definitely gonna call her, and she mentioned it to me a couple weeks ago, and it's just so weird how this stuff.
I know, full circle. So, you and Jakey Poo have to eat dinner. I totally understand. The funniest thing is, throughout the first series, I got to ask everyone every question.
Oh. Of course.
But I love that we didn't get to it.
I think this is it's actually perfect for the mental health first episode because it's like you never know. You don't know what life is throwing at you, and this conversation is so real that I would so much rather have this out there than any question that's posed in front of me.
Exactly.
This is it.
And to end it off, what we want to tell you is that give yourself grace is ending.
Yep.
And y'all need to get on it. So here are the pieces, right? We've got the sweatpants. I wanted to show you guys the black stitching. You gotta take some of those.
This is, I was looking for the yellow. It's right there.
Yep.
So this is yellow stitching. Both sleeves, we have Handsy, RH, obviously.
On the back of the sweats, we've got our logos.
Yep.
Peanut butter and copper. And the t-shirt only comes in the gold cording because it just looks the best. This is the sweatshirt in the gold cording. So I don't know if you noticed, the Handsy and the RH Collective logo are a little bit lighter and a little bit different because our girl Joni, she just knows what looks good.
She just knows what looks good. And these just match so
just gorgeous,
well
buttery
together. And my personal favorite, what I wear all the time, is this. I wear the Give Yourself Grace pale yellow just because something about it, it's not like a monochromatic, but when we were choosing these colors, we were like...
It just blends.
It blends, and it's a very calming feel without being like... in your face, like flowery stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a calming, graceful feel.
It totally ties in with the whole messaging, and I honestly couldn't be happier with it or about it. We have limited stock. We did our second restock. That's going to be the last one. We did a poll, so we base it off of your guys'
Answers on the poll.
So... that's just that on that. We will be closing out the collection on the 28th of June.
Yeah, 28th is what day of the week, just so we know.
Yeah, let's say it. Let's let them know.
So 28th is a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday.
Yep. So we're going to close the 28th. And if anybody has any questions about sizing, availability, whatever, please do not hesitate to reach out. Yeah. DM us, email us, whatever. All of our information is in both of our bios on Instagram. I think we sold out of most t-shirts. I forget what we have for our restock, but we sold out of some sizes. But if there's something that you guys are just wondering about size, why, whatever, if there's not a medium and you're worried about if you're going to fit into a large, just reach out to us. And yeah, thank you guys for supporting us. Every piece that you buy supports Rennie and I. So
Exactly.
it's a
win-win.
It's a win-win.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. And on the note of dinner, let's get y'all fed. We're eating pizzas. We gotta go. Thank you, Ellie, so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a real pleasure, and I cannot wait to hear this. Honestly,
Yeah,
I'm honored. I'm honored, and I'm excited that our real conversation will be
shared.
Yeah.
Because people, I mean, if my podcast is anything, I hope it's either education or entertainment, because that's what I love about podcasts. And usually it's a mixture of both.
Mixture of both.
So I hope it's that for you. And the conversation with Ellie, I just think, I couldn't ask for a better combo today. I couldn't.
I
needed this combo,
I needed
honestly.
this. Well, I was going to say I needed this combo. And I feel like I'm going to look back and I'm going to see my head spinning so many times because it's one of those things where I'm like, oh, wow. You know, like, no, literally, that's how I feel. And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, almost like, oh, wow. Like, I need it. Literally, like, my brain is like so many times during the conversation, oh, I really needed to hear that today. Oh, I really needed that. You know, this is what we need to get through the day. 100%. This is what life is. So I'm honored. I'm more than honored to be here, and I am so excited for our futures.
Same. I'm going to end it on this note. I got dressed today, and not that I forgot that we were doing the podcast, but it wasn't an active thought. It's never an active thought in my mind to dress in Handsy when I see Ellie. I have to tell you that before my line dropped, I was in Handsy at least twice a week. At least.
It's true.
At the very least. Probably 3 to 4 times is a more accurate count because I just love the product. And so when I went and got dressed today, I was in my hair for you and I was texting Ellie and she was like, oh my God, thank you. This is why I need you. And I was like, yeah, well, this is why I'm here. And then I was like, this is why I started typing and I was like, nope. And I just took a picture and I was like, here for you. And then Ellie was wearing a here for you shirt.
I posted it on her shirt. Not that you can't even probably see it on the camera.
I will insert it. I'll insert
but like
the screenshot right here.
Insert the screenshot right here. And I thought that was, you cannot make it up. I'm actually changed my shirt from before, but I'm still wearing it here for you. You just can't, you really cannot. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. It's just, and it's the energy that you put out that I receive, and it's the energy that I put out that you receive, and it's just an unmatched feeling. It's just a feeling that security, safety, light, gratitude that I hope everybody gets to experience because I sure as hell have not for most of my life. So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
God bless.
God bless.
God bless.
God bless and give yourself grace. We're out of here. We're out of here.